Hello everyone and welcome to the Johnny Appleseed Organic Village. I'm Charles Goodin and I'm here once again with our guest Shannie McCabe from Creek Heirloom Seeds. Today we're going to plant tomatoes, which is something incidentally I've never done. There's a couple of reasons why I've never done it. I know it's a little embarrassing to admit, but one is that it always seemed kind of complicated to me, what with all the staking and trellising and whatever else. The second thing is I don't really like tomatoes, or at least I don't think I like tomatoes. However, Shannie has assured me that both of these concerns aren't concerns. So why don't you tell our audience why I'm wrong?
Not to worry. Growing tomatoes is actually super easy, and they're an incredible return on your effort because they're highly prolific. Secondly, an heirloom tomato is nothing like you'd eat at the grocery store. I know I was the same way. I didn't like tomatoes for the longest time because I'd only had really crummy grocery store tomatoes. When you have your first heirloom tomato, you know what it's all about. You become an immediate convert. The flavor is much, much more intense, complex, balanced, and the texture is a lot better.
All right, so let's imagine that you've converted me to the cause. How do I get started?
Right, so growing tomatoes, germinating tomatoes is fairly easy. There's a few things you just want to keep in mind. When we're starting tomatoes, just remember that this is pretty much a tropical crop. They like warm weather. They can't handle any cool temperatures. So if you do not have a really warm place to set your seed tray, you may want to invest in a little horticultural heat mat. They're really inexpensive, and what they do is they provide heat just below the seedlings tray, and it actually warms the soil because warm soil is really, really important for germinating tomatoes. I always set my heat mat at around 78 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, and that gets them to germinate super quickly.
We're fortunate that today we're in a greenhouse and it shouldn't be a problem.
And a lot of people, they're sunny. If your window is sunny enough and you keep your house at a warm temperature, you can germinate tomatoes without the heat mat. It just kind of ensures that you'll have more success and faster. But tomatoes are fairly easy to sow. You can see that these are pretty small. The rule of thumb is to plant them twice as deep as they are big, so just below the soil surface, and we just cover them lightly. Super easy to start tomatoes. And then you're going to water the tray in lightly, making sure that we don't blast the seeds out of the tray, and keep the cells fairly consistently watered. Don't allow them to dry out. Keep them on that heat mat or in that super sunny window, and they should germinate within 2 weeks, about 14 days at the longest. So don't forget to make a label. It's important for your own personal organization reasons, and also it's going to help you if you're saving your own seeds. So they're up, they're growing, they're looking beautiful. Now it's time to harden them off before we plant them outdoors. So whether you're planting out into the field or just out into a pot outdoors, you do need to harden your tomatoes off. This means that you're just going to take the plants from inside their sheltered location, whether you started them in a greenhouse or in your home, and you're going to bring them outside to get them acclimated to the outdoor weather. So we're bringing them outside, we're going to put them in a half-sheltered location. In the shade of our greenhouse is a perfect place. You could put them on your patio or on your porch or maybe on the side of your home. Anywhere that is not full intense sun and whipping wind. A little wind protected, a little sun protected. So we're hardening off before we plant out. And we want to harden our plants off for at least 3 days and up to a week and a half, 2 weeks. So now it's time to plant in the field.
So we're going to plant them 2 to 2.5 feet apart, and we're going to set the plants a little bit deep in the soil. You actually want the soil to go up around the stem. This is because tomatoes can actually form roots along their stem, making a sturdier, healthier plant.
So we've got our tomatoes planted, and once we finish the whole row, we're going to lay down some drip irrigation. The benefit of drip irrigation is that it's going to give our plants a long, consistent drink of water, that it helps them establish deeper, stronger roots. So rather than an infrequent sprinkling, they're going to get a long drink of water. The other nice thing about the drip system is that it concentrates all the water right at the base of the plant. Like we were saying before about planting the tomatoes a little bit closer can cause rot issues. Also, if you overhead water your tomatoes and you get a bunch of moisture on the leaves, that also can lead to rot and poor air circulation. So concentrating the water right at the base of the plant and giving them long drinks of water is going to make a stronger, healthier plant with less disease issues.
And by doing irrigation, we don't have to do the watering ourselves, which makes me very happy.
Yep, makes it easier.
We hope you enjoyed this video on how to start your tomatoes in spring. Be sure to check back as the season goes on because we're going to do a whole series of these. If you liked what you saw today, check out Johnny Appleseed Organic on YouTube and Instagram.
Yep, and you can check out Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds on Facebook, Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel called Rare Seeds.
Why don't you also give them a preview of what we're going to be doing later in the season?
Right, so as we follow our tomatoes through their growing season, we're next going to learn about how to trellis your tomatoes, how to prune them, how to harvest, and we're even going to talk about how to save your own tomato seeds.
All of those things sound frightening to me, but I bet Shannie will find a way to make them digestible. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.